Welcome to the Lions Review. So just like that, we've got another quest being teased by Avalon Hill, Hasbro. This time is the Mage of the Mirror. We all kind of knew this was coming, but it looks like they've decided to show it off at GenCon out in Indianapolis, which is happening right now. Wish I was there, but couldn't make it happen, so just following it online. So back on July 15th, in response to a tweet asking about furniture, Zargon had this to say, that he's been wanting some fancy new furniture, so it seems very likely, but maybe something Dwarven and Elven first. So here we can see that they do show new furniture, or I should say alternative to the furniture we already have. So we have a throne down here in the corner. We have new chest, table. I don't know if it's that much different from the original one. And then of course the bookcase. Let me scroll it down here so you can see it. So a little bit more curvy there. Different style than the rectangular shapes that we have for the bookcases now. And even the weapons rack is slightly different. Now they're not giving us alternatives, so everything, just some of the furniture it looks like. So here's the tomb, two more treasure chests here, their bookcase there, and then the fireplace. Slightly different, you know, you got the round part here instead of the rectangular one that I'm pretty sure was on the original one. Don't have my box up here, so I can't pull that out and look at it real quick, but looks right. So that's the furniture that they're going to include. And then we get to the hero itself. So if you recall, the original base game had all male characters, no female characters. The female miniatures were introduced with the Frozen Horror for the Barbarian, and then the female elf was introduced with the Mage of the Mirror. In fact, if you look at the box art, you have the female elf. But to me it looks like the miniature is actually going to be the male elf, which would make sense because with the relaunch they include a female elf in the base Heroquest game. So all the other all the other heroes are males, but the elf is a female. So it made sense that the Barbarian quest gave you a female, but it would make sense for a male to be included with the elf quest. Now of course, if you did a crowdfunding heroic tier or mythic tier, you already have male and female versions of the four main heroes. As far as other miniatures are concerned, you have the Elven Warrior. So you got two of those with the original. This one they're actually going to give you four. You can see their different poses. This looks like a male and a female. And then you have two more up here, one behind the mirror there, and then one over here. And the same with the archers. So you had two elven archers with the original. Looks like you're going to get four. So you have these two, same pose, and then different pose here. And then there's one hiding down here, all the way down here in the corner. Those may be male and female versions as well. Kind of hard to tell. But there you go. And then the evil mage herself, very similar to the original one. And we have the ogre. So you have four of these guys. The original ones, you had to put them together, attach their arms. So you can do slight variations, not a large variation, but you can do slight variations with them. Looks like with the four that you're going to get here, they're all axe wielders. So you have that one. Oh no, yeah, you can see that there, and then of course this guy down here. So again, 4 ogres. And then giant wolves. So you had 3 in the original. You have this one here, this one down here. Make sure this guy's not being blocked by the window. There we go. The third one. And you also notice that they have the large base taking up 2 squares, just like the original did. And then we get into cards. So you're going to get 5 additional cards from the original. So the original, I think you had 30, and you can get 35 in this case. Simply because they're going to give you the elf card for the male elf, and then they're going to give you 4 potion cards for the potions that were available, but everything else seems to be on par with what they had in the original game or the original expansion pack. So you can see 4 monster cards, and 2 of them being the giant wolf and the ogre, the other 2 being the elven warrior and the archer. Now I don't show the ogre's body points here, but if I did, you would see 10, and you will notice that they've cut that in half. It's only 5 body points on this card. Then you get 7 spells, or not chaos spells, but dread spells. So it looks like they kept that the same. You have them here. Doesn't look like they have all 7 out there, but they do have these out here. There may be more up here. These were kind of hard for me to see when I zoomed in to try to figure out what they were. But you're going to get 4 treasure cards. You just mix those in with the existing treasure cards. You're going to also get 7 new artifacts. They have 5 of them here. So I'm guessing 2 are up above. Again, a little hard to see what's up there. The interesting thing about the artifacts were the elven bracers. So just like the Arband of Ice from the Frozen Horror, the artifact card was there but never mentioned in any of the quests. So they added the online quest, and if you have that quest, you will see that that's the reward for that quest. So maybe they'll do the same with the elven bracers, but since this is not supposed to be out in the spring, maybe they'll have time to add it into one of the quests are included in this quest book here. Of course, if this is the quest book and they already printed it out and they stuck to the original, then again the elven bracers, you're going to have the artifact card, but you're not going to see it mentioned anywhere in the book. When I was playing this, I did put it in the 3rd quest. If you played it before, it may be obvious to you why I did that. If you haven't played before, then when you do play, it'll probably be obvious to you why I did that. So I won't give too much of a spoiler at this time, but just a heads up. And then you get the elf spells, which are back here. So you get 8 of those. So what your elf is allowed to do now is either pick one of the 4 original group of spells, you know, fire, water, earth, or air, or they can choose the elf spells instead. They don't get all 8 of them. They do have to narrow it down to just 3, but it gives them a bit of an alternative to the original spells that they were able to cast. And then here are the potions that I was talking about earlier. So I believe that's these 4 cards up here. Again, kind of hard to tell, but they look like they have a cost, which will make them equipment cards. And I think those are going to be the only equipment cards you get with this, are those 4. Now if you look on my page, you would see up here the potion of restoration. I crossed out and wrote elixir of life. Although it does basically the same thing as elixir of life, that's not why I did that. The reason I did that is because in the prior quest, Keller's Keep and with Witch Lord, those already have a potion of restoration that does something different. So if your heroes still have those, and then they're playing this and they buy a potion of restoration, how do you track which one's which? Because they're all got the same name. Obviously you can write down the impact or initials next to it so you know which one they bought. But to me it was just less confusing to call it something else rather than potion of restoration. So hopefully they don't still call it that. It's again kind of hard to read what they have on there, but you know, if they made the same mistake, then it might be hard to track these on hero sheets that you have if they're buying potions from the various quests. I didn't get into the tokens and tiles, so I think they pretty much kept these the same. You can see a sky ore up here, the 4 tokens up here, just like in the original. Then you got the extra staircase tile. You got the princess tile. I kind of wish they had a miniature for it, but they kept it as tile. And then the prospector, I didn't see him, but these were double-sided tiles for the North American quest packs. Everything was double-sided. Some of them had the same image, like the princess, for instance, is the same. The Prospector, I think, had a pack, one of the weapons packs, so this may be him here, just flipped over. So here you see all the skull tiles, the trapdoor tiles, those were the same on both sides. Well, the trapdoor tiles were the same on both sides. The skull tiles had something different. I think most of them were block tiles. Or these wolf tiles. As you can see, you would have 4 of those, 4 weapon packs. The flask, which I think is a moon, I want to say moon silver, if I'm not mistaken. That was the same on both. I was pretty sure the key was as well, but I couldn't find the key on here, so maybe it's just buried somewhere on this board, or I just missed it. And then of course you got the pit tiles, so you're getting some additional tiles there for the pits, and then the dual pits or double pits here, and of course this is ones just as flipped over, because when they're flipped over they're block tiles. And then of course there's also the secret door tiles right here. And then getting back to some of the, I guess I wouldn't call them furniture, but the doorways. You had the iron door. It's over here. Looks like they got a bit of a theme to that one as well. If you recall, they did that with the Frozen Horror. The wooden door, not sure. May just be the same wooden door as the other packs. And then of course the gates or portcullis. Those, we have 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, and then one down here, 4. So 4 included as well. Thing that surprised me were the mirrors. They kind of went old school with that, with a base and the cardboard punch outs. So there's the princess one, and down here somewhere, there we go, there's the arrow. If I go to my next screenshot here, you see that is the flip side to these. So I'm surprised they didn't do like the other doorways, make it that plastic. Again, could change before they do the release in spring of 2023. We'll have to wait and see. And then lastly, we have room tiles. Not a lot going on there, as they only have 1 room tile being double-sided, so you get 2 rooms. The inner sanctum room, I think is what the inner sanctum. Yeah, and then the wall for that here. You can see that was included. You kind of fold the sides to make it stand. And then if you flip the room tile over, you have the quicksand room. That's what you pretty much are going to get so far in this. There was no mention of dice on here. I don't see them anywhere. So it will be interesting to see what new pictures we get over the course of the next several months, especially if they're sticking to a spring of 2023 release. That's a long ways off, so we'll have to see. Also have to see if they keep the ogre card at only 5 body points, or if they decide that they can increase that. Would be interesting also if when they release it, if they're going to allow the mercenaries. So I don't think the mercenaries were ever mentioned in the Heroquest. They were not mentioned into the Frozen Horror. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. Because if you're going to have mercenaries in here, then you know, maybe beef up the ogres a little bit more, because the heroes got to have hired help. But I guess we'll again have to wait and see. Hope you enjoy this. Stay tuned. I'll try to update if anything new comes out, but only if it's something that's worthwhile making a video about. So take care and talk to you guys later. Bye bye.